The girl I'd grown up with, Maya Vance, was pinned against the lockers by the new transfer jock. He asked her what I was to her. Maya's voice was ice, just the guy next door. The jock smirked, snaked an arm around her waist, and pulled her in for a hard kiss. Later, after some party, a girl was helping me stumble home when Maya cornered me, her eyes blazing. My friend asked what Maya was to me. I echoed, just a girl next door. The new semester at Northwood High kicked off with some major gossip. Last year's star athlete from Riverton, a guy who was supposedly top tier, had to transfer to Northwood to repeat his senior year. That was because his GPA wasn't cutting it for college. During break, a stampede of students rushed out of the classroom. A minute later, my desk mate Ryan stumbled back in panting. He caught his breath. "Lucas, man, you got to see this." The new jock in Maya's class, total poser, strutting around like he's God's gift. Shirt practically painted on to show off his muscles. Seriously, his pecs are huge. I swear he's not here to catch up on credits. He's here to pick up girls. "Lucas, man, you got to see this." The new jock in Ma's class. Total poser strutting around like he's God's gift. Shirt practically painted on to show off his muscles. Seriously, his pecs are huge. I swear he's not here to catch up on credits. He's here to pick up girls. Sounds like the jock's physique was making Ryan pretty jealous. I didn't even look up for my textbook. No time. Got to finish this problem set so I can hit the courts after school. Ryan nudged me. "You're not worried about losing your girl, dude. You got the home field advantage, but this guy." Then he shook his head, backtracking. "Nah, forget I said anything. With your whole brainy heartthrob vibe, plus Maya's infamous Ice Queen routine. She's only ever had eyes for you. No way some new guy turns her head." I grinned a little smug. Exactly. With my charm, no sweat. My advance and our childhood sweethearts. Everyone knew it. Our parents were best friends. We were practically betrothed before we were born. At parent-teacher conferences, if one set of parents was busy, the other would cover for both of us. One in each of our respective homerooms. The teachers didn't even blink anymore. Growing up, Maya and I were Northwood's golden couple. I jokingly asked her out plenty of times. She never said no, just blushed and looked down. I took that as a yes. Maya was aloof, kept every guy at arm's length except me. The list of guys she turned down was legendary. Handsome ones, brilliant ones, rich ones, all of them. So, no, I wasn't worried about some transfer jock catching her eye. After school, I saw him. I was waiting for Maya outside her classroom like always. Her classmates were used to it. Just as we were about to leave, a wave of musky cologne hit me. A guy with a buzz cut stepped in front of Maya. Arrogant eyes, a cocky smirk. "Maya Vance, we're throwing a welcome party for me tonight. You should come." Maya didn't even glance his way. No time. She took a couple steps, then looked back at me. "Lucas, let's go." "Oh, right." I pulled my gauge from the jock, but not before I caught the look he shot me, sizing me up with a clear hint of a challenge. On the way home, I tried to sound casual. "So, that's the new transfer in your class?" "Yeah." Maya kept her eyes on the sidewalk. "What's he like?" I pressed. Maya stopped and turned to me, her expression serious. She said, each word distinct. "Total showboat. All brawn. No brains. Ha ha. You nailed it." I gave her thumbs up. Her assessment put my mind at ease. The little locker scene faded from my thoughts. When we reached your front door, I paused before unlocking mine and called out to her, my advance. "Let's book an MIT." "Okay." She turned back, the soft glow of the porch light warming her usually cool, pale face. She nodded almost demurely. "Okay." Every morning, like clockwork, I'd bring Maya a carton of milk. She was too thin and hated eating breakfast. Milk was for nutrients and protein. After first period, on my way to the restroom, I'd pass her classroom and check if she'd finished it. She'd always gulp it down with a sigh like it was a chore she had to complete. Today, Ryan and I were coming back from the restroom. As usual, I tossed a peach-flavored hard candy through her open window to remind her. She unscrewed the milk cap and took a sip, but someone else snatched the candy off the floor before she could. Maya frowned. "Chris, give that back." "Hey, gorgeous. Save me. I'm practically dying of low blood sugar here. This candy is my only hope." The guy, Chris, turned with a lazy grin, his eyes meeting mine. His smile widened when he saw me, but it was just a fleeting glance like he was deliberately ignoring me. Then he whipped his head back to Maya, noticing her glare. All right, keep it. So stingy. Chris tossed the candy onto Maya's desk, then picked up her milk, asking with feigned curiosity, "You always drink this brand. Is any good? Give me one tomorrow, will you? Get yourself." Chris made a face. "Come on. Classmates got to help each other out. You're pretty cold. You know that, Miss Popular." After that, I started seeing Chris everywhere. He always seemed to be accidentally around Maya, borrowing notes, needing an eraser. He was like a shadow. I wasn't worried about his antics. I knew Maya. The more he bugged her, the more she despised him. Sure enough, after a while of pestering her, he seemed to give up. Life for Maya and me went back to normal. One day, I was explaining a physics problem to Maya through a classroom window. Her gaze suddenly shot past me. The calmness in her eyes shattered, replaced by a gathering storm. I didn't turn, but I heard a light chuckle from behind me. Chris was laughing about something with another girl, his voice carrying. "Chris." The girl in front of me, Maya, spoke, her voice tight with suppressed anger. "What's up, Maya?" Chris looked up, his expression a mixture of surprise and innocence. "You need something?" I watched Maya. It was like I wasn't even there. Her eyes were locked on Chris. The corner of the worksheet in her hand was crumpled, her knuckles white from how tightly she was gripping it. Maya said, "You're the only one who hasn't turned in the English homework." Chris looked like a light bulb went off. Before he could speak, the girl next to him chimed in. "Oh, hey, Maya. I was just checking his homework for him. How about it right here? I'll give it to you in a sec." Chris playfully tugged the girl's ponytail, feinting annoyance. "Well, hurry up and hand it in before the class rep comes after me." The girl jumped up to swat his head, but Chris dodged her easily. They ran off laughing and roughhousing. Maya just stood there unmoving, her eyes as dark and deep as the ocean. In that moment, I felt something precious slipping through my clenched fist. A few days passed uneventfully. One afternoon, coming back from the restroom, I automatically glanced towards Ma's desk. The carton of milk was gone, replaced by a can of brightly colored soda. A jolt went through me. My hand, ready to toss her usual peach candy, froze. My first instinct was to look at Chris's seat. There he was, casually sipping from a familiar milk carton. He was looking straight at me. The tightly wound string inside me snapped. I forced down the panic rising in my eyes and turned away. I didn't throw the candy that day. She didn't look at me. That evening, I was pissed. I didn't wait for Maya. I just went straight home. She didn't try to find me either. The next morning, we ran into each other in the elevator. I acted like nothing was wrong and handed her the milk. She hesitated for a second, then took it. Neither of us mentioned what happened yesterday. A silent agreement. Maybe Chris had snatched the milk. He was shameless enough. That's what I told myself. But after that, I stopped reminding Maya to drink her milk. The peach candies I used to toss her, I ate them myself. One every day. Ryan noticed something was off between us because I didn't stop by our classroom anymore on restroom breaks. "No way, Lucas. Did that jock actually swoop in and steal your girl? Is my favorite golden couple officially over?" I tapped his forehead with my pen. "Focus on your studies. Midterms are coming up." Ryan rubbed his head. "Dude, the winter showcase is in a couple of days. Maya's piano solo is always the finale, right? Get her a killer bouquet, man. Show her what she's missing. That jock won't stand a chance." After study hall that afternoon, Ryan and I were the first ones out, basketball in hand. In the hallway, we ran into Maya and Chris heading back to class. They were walking up the stairs side by side, really close. Ma never got that close to any guy except me. Seeing me, Mia flinched, a flicker of surprise in her eyes. "Wait, I was just going to rehearse for the winter showcase." We happened to run into each other. Her voice trailed off, getting quieter. "Oh." I tried to act like I didn't care, bounced the basketball a couple of times, and continued down the stairs. Just as I passed her, Maya called out, her voice urgent. "Lucas." "Yeah." I turned to look at her. She was one step above me, so we were at level. "Don't wait for me tonight. I have to rehearse for a while after school," she said quickly, then looked away, uncomfortable. What she meant was, don't wait for her anymore ever. Softly, I said, "Okay." Chris, looking impatient, urged, "Let's go, Maya." Once they were further away, Ryan asked cautiously, "Still want to play?" I shrugged, forcing a relaxed expression. "Definitely. One-on-one. Loser buys drinks." The day of the winter showcase, the school was buzzing. Just before Maya's performance, the darkened auditorium suddenly erupted with whistles and shouts. "Go Maya! You're the best!" Students around us started chanting. "Oh, get together, get together, get together." Over and over, a rhythmic taunt. The teachers quickly shut it down. My hand involuntarily tightened around the glow stick I was holding. I almost snapped it. Ryan and the classmates around me looked at me with concern. I forced a "don't worry about me" smile. A spotlight hit the stage, illuminating the figure seated at the grand piano. Maya, in a white gown, looked like a graceful swan, as beautiful as a fairy tale princess. A light melodious tune flowed from her long, elegant fingers. A gentle, beautiful smile graced her lips. It had only been a couple of weeks since we'd stopped walking to school together. But I suddenly felt like I didn't recognize the Maya on stage. Her tender expression, the soft smile as she looked down. These were all new to me, completely unfamiliar. My heart skipped a beat. It felt like someone had a vice grip on my chest, squeezing it until it ached with a sour, painful tightness. That feeling almost stole my breath. I couldn't make out what Ryan was saying beside me. I just kept my face tilted up, a wooden smile plastered on it. Finally, as the crowd erupted in cheers and applause for her, I muttered something about needing the restroom. I practically bolted, desperate to hide how wrecked I was. The principal was giving his closing remarks. Maya should be backstage changing. Clutching the bouquet I bought earlier, I decided to try one last time. I just couldn't believe that what we had was so fragile. If I just put in a little more effort, I was sure I could fix things between us. I reached the backstage area and pulled back a corner of the curtain. Chris's voice drifted out. "Maya, are you into that guy Lucas from the other class?" "No." Her answer was quick. "Too quick? Then what's the deal with you two? I heard people saying you guys were neighbors." Maya's reply was curt. "He's just my neighbor, that's all." Chris smirked, wrapped an arm around her waist, and kissed her hard just for a second. Then Maya pulled away. No anger, no pushing him away, just a blush spreading across her face. I froze. I thought I'd be devastated, but strangely all I could think was, the showcase is almost over. I need to get back. I turned and walked away. I chucked the flowers into the nearest trash can on my way out. After that, Maya and Chris were an official item at school, totally public. No one mentioned Maya and me anymore. It was an unspoken, off-limits topic. I'd bump into Maya occasionally, but we hadn't really talked in ages. Since the winter showcase, I'd stopped bringing her milk. Whenever I passed her classroom on the way to the restroom, I'd see Chris and Maya sitting together. Ryan would always roll his eyes. If they get any more obvious, I'm going to report them for PDA. Seeing my lack of reaction, he'd ask why I wasn't mad. My mom always said, "Focus on your books, son. Success is the best revenge. It attracts the right kind of attention." Seriously, man. Once I ace my SATs and get into a top-tier college, I'll have my pick of anyone. That's what I told him. Ryan looked at me with admiration, his eyes practically sparkling. "Lucas, with that attitude, you're destined for greatness. Don't forget me when you're famous." Okay, next up was the dreaded midterms. When the results came out, Maya's rank had plummeted. She wasn't even in the top 30. She'd never been outside the top 10 before. Her homeroom teacher, Miss Davidson, found me looking hesitant. "Lucas, about Maya and Chris. I've spoken to them. They promised me they'd focus on their study from now on. I was hoping you could still help Ma out like you used to. I'm sure you don't want to see her throw everything away." I used to tutor Maya in all her tough subjects. I thought for a few seconds, then said seriously, "Is Davidson? It's senior year. I'm swamped with my own studies. I really don't have the bandwidth to help Maya. I'm sure after your talk, she'll be able to catch up on her own. Time to ditch the savior complex. Her destiny was her own. I wasn't a saint. I had no obligation or responsibility for Mia's academics. Her future was up to her." M. Davidson sighed. "All right, I understand. You can go back to class." M. Davidson then called Mia's parents. That evening when I got home, Mia's parents were waiting in our living room. Seeing me, Mrs. Vance asked delicately, "Lucas, dear, we haven't seen you over at our place with Maya in a while. Did you two have a fight?" They'd always jokingly called me their future son-in-law. Maya had never been close to any guy but me. Suddenly finding out she was seriously dating someone else must have shocked and worried them. But I could tell they hadn't really reprimanded Maya. In fact, after I shook my head and said we hadn't fought, there was a hint of reproach in Mrs. Vance's tone. "Lucas, our Maya is a beautiful girl, but she's very naive. We always told you to look out for her at school. Make sure no one took advantage of her. Now you're still at the top of your class, but her grades have dropped so much. You're already doing so well. Couldn't you spare a little energy to help Araya? Then you could both get into good colleges. They didn't mention Maya's new boyfriend at all. Instead, they seemed to think it was my fault she was slacking off, that I was being selfish by not helping her. They were putting all the blame on me. Before I could even respond, my mom jumped in. The main reason Maya's grades have dropped is because she's too focused on her new relationship. Lucas can help all he wants, but Maya has to want to improve herself. They grew up together, practically joined at the hip. Why would Mia suddenly start dating someone else? It seems Mia's a bit fickle, both with her studies and her feelings. My mom's words left Mia's parents speechless. I secretly gave Mom a thumbs up. She shot me a triumphant look. The Vances didn't get what they wanted. Instead, they left with their tails between their legs, looking thoroughly embarrassed. Life settled back into a new normal. Maya and I had gone our separate ways by unspoken agreement. No dramatic arguments, no tearful goodbyes. Just like she'd said, we were truly just neighbors. Now, without Ma's schoolwork to worry about, I poured all my energy into my own. Besides studying, I even had time to shoot hoops every day. Life was busy but fulfilling. Today, I was coming back from discussing problem with Mr. Harrison, our physics teacher. I sensed a weird vibe in the classroom, a mix of tension and excitement. Ryan, my deskmate, leaned in conspirator ally. Lucas, dude, guess what? We're getting a new student and she's gorgeous. A transfer this late in the semester. How's she going to catch up? I asked, puzzled. Man, you don't get it. It's like those people who game the system for college admissions. You know? Get their transcripts padded at some fancy prep school in the city. Then transfer to a smaller town like ours to ace the SATs and look like a superstar. What's that term for it? Light. An unfair advantage. Ryan was still racking his brain for the right word. You mean like she's on a whole other level? See, this is why you need to study more. I tap Ryan on the head. Lucas, your reign as valedictorian might be over. I'm already mourning for you, man. 3 minutes of silence. Ryan clutches head, still clowning around. Hey, it ain't over till it's over. Anyone could be a dark horse, right? And who knows, maybe she's the dark horse, I said confidently. Yeah, you're the darkest horse. The darkest in a class. No, the whole grade. Just before the bell, our homeroom teacher, Mrs. Albright, walked in with a girl. Oh my God, she's wow, I think I'm dead. Ryan gasped when he saw the new student. I looked up and my eyes met hers. She was wearing our standard Northwood high polo and skirt with her hair in a simple ponytail and wispy bangs. The plainest outfit, yet she looked incredibly vibrant and youthful. A delicate oval face, flawless porcelain skin, and big round eyes. Class, this is our new student, Julia Lane. Please make her feel welcome. Julia's just arrived and might need some time to adjust. So, I expect all of you to help her get up to speed with our class. Julia, why don't you take the empty seat in front of Lucas? Lucas, please look after our new classmate. Okay, Mrs. Albright arranged everything smoothly. I nodded. Julia glanced at me gratefully and walked towards us. Yes, Mrs. Albright finally did something right. Ryan pumped his fist, whispering, then added, if she beats you for top spot, I'm totally okay with that. Get lost, traitor. Hi everyone, I'm Julia Lane. It's nice to meet you all. Please, I hope we can all get along. Her smile was sweet, revealing faint dimples. Her voice was soft and pleasant, clear and pure. Whenever she didn't understand something in class or got stuck on a problem, she'd turn around and look at me with an almost pleading expression, and I'd patiently explain it to her, breaking down the concepts. She was incredibly smart, a quick learner. Once she got used to all the teacher styles, she started asking me for help less and less. But I found myself looking forward to those moments when she'd turn around, her round eyes looking at me, a hint of adorable frustration in their innocent depths. Soon, it was time for finals. Over the past few tests, Maya's ranking had climbed a bit, but she was still hovering around 20th place in our year. Julia, on the other hand, had steadily risen from initial 15th place to second. I was still holding strong at number 1. Ryan whispered to me, Lucas, you're making me proud, man. If you actually let this girl beat you, our school's reputation would be toast. Whatever, dude. I'm making my parents proud. What have I ever done for your reputation? Even though she was brilliant, Julia, like a lot of girls, sometimes found the advanced science and math a little tougher. After finals, Julia asked me what my plans were for winter break. I was about to say nothing much. But then I had an idea to tease her. Winter break? I'm planning to hit the library every single day. No mercy. I'm going to outstudy every last one of you. Julia gasped. Are you serious? You're not even going to let us breathe during break. You're insane. She thought for a moment, then added, nope, I'm in. If you can't beat him, join him. Join what? Where are we going? I want to go, too. Ryan, who'd been goofing off nearby, jumped in. Me, too. Count me in. Other classmates who'd overheard my library plans started signing up. After all, it was senior year. No one could afford to slack off. Everyone even came up with a name for our winter break study group, the Ace It Crew. As in, ace every test, know every question. And they enthusiastically nominated me as team leader. They even defined the leader responsibilities, taking attendance, penalties for unexcused absences or lateness. And of course, answering everyone's questions. I instantly regretted it. I'd just been trying to tease Julia, and now I'd signed myself up for a massive commitment. Is it too late to back out now? Nope. No takebacks. Julia giggled, covering her mouth. Winter break. I was just heading out to the library when I saw a group of people at the house across the street. Chris and a few of his buddies were ringing Nia's doorbell. My parents had mentioned Nia's folks were out of town for a few days. A few seconds later, Maya opened the door. I glanced at her, then looked away. I heard Chris's laughter. You said you and Lucas were neighbors, but I didn't realize you lived this close. Maya just grunted an affirmative and let them in. After I changed my shoes, I heard Mia's voice from behind me. Lucas, you're avoiding me. It was a statement, not a question. Utter certainty. I almost laughed. You're imagining things. What's going on between you and that transfer student in your class? We're just classmates. Lucas, Chris, who had already gone inside Nia's house, leaned back out. Maya, everyone's waiting for you. What's taking so long? He shot me a knowing, slightly smug look. Lucas, I hope we can still be friends. I'll talk to you another time. Maya rushed the words out and before I could react, closed her door. I scoffed, a bitter laugh escaping me. Friends, neighbors? We never used those words for each other. When people teased us, joked about us, she'd never denied it. I had liked Maya. I truly believed Maya had liked me, too. But now I realized I'd been wrong. She'd just been using me as a shield, a convenient way to turn down other guys. And I'd willingly played along, walking her to and from school, bringing her milk, tutoring her. She lapped up the attention, the feeling of being pursued and cared for. To put it bluntly, I'd been her S. She never rejected me outright, but she never truly said yes either. For the past however many years, my life had revolved around books and Maya. I barely had any other close friends. Most people's first impression of me was Maya Vance's shadow, Lucas. But now I was Lucas Sterling, #1 at Northwood High, not someone's shadow anymore. Without Maya in my life, my future suddenly seemed brighter, wider. Now that I wasn't constantly focused on her, I had more time for myself, more time to notice the good things around me. She was used to me being her only friend, her satellite. Suddenly, there was another girl by my side. Just as pretty and even smarter than her. She felt threatened. She probably sensed she was really losing me. That's why she said she hoped we could still be friends. Why? She said she'd talk to me later. She was afraid her backup plan was about to walk away for good. She was trying to redefine our past as a friendship, leaving the door open for a comeback. Buzz. Buzz. My phone vibrated. It was Julia. I glanced across the street. She was standing at her window, a playful smile on her face as she gestured for me to look at my phone. Lucas Voyager, it's snowing. Voyager, that was her special name for me. She said it was because I always seemed to be looking towards the future, towards distant horizons. And because my name Lucas meant bringer of light to guide the way. It was our thing. Outside, the daylight was fading and snowflakes were beginning to drift down. But in front of me, I saw a brilliant light. The girl at the window had those lovely dimples, her smile radiant. Another message popped up. It's the first snow of the season. Make a wish. I looked up into her sparkling, shining eyes. Then, let's wish for both of us to have amazing, bright futures. New Year's Eve, my family and I were just getting back from dinner at a restaurant. As we waited for the elevator, I saw Maya. She looked like she'd been waiting for a while. Her face was flushed with an anger I'd never seen on her before. Lucas, I need to talk to you. She grabbed my arm and pulled me toward the elevator. My parents looked worried. Lucas, honey, talk to Maya calmly. Don't get upset. The courtyard was full of kids running around with sparklers. Maya didn't stop until we reached a deserted corner of the community park. I stared at her shadow on the ground, wondering what she was about to say. Lucas, was it you who told my parents about Chris and his friends coming over to my house? Her voice was frigid. I was a little stunned. So, that's what this was about? No, she frowned. She didn't believe me. That day they came over. I told you I'd find you later. But you've been leaving early and coming home late every day. I haven't had a chance to see you, but that's no reason for you to hold a grudge and retaliate like this. It makes you seem really petty. Huh? Talk about self-absorbed. I looked down at her. A slight sense of superiority washing over me. Before, whenever she was angry, whether it was my fault or not, I would have bent over backwards to appease her. But now, I just found her ridiculous, annoying, even. Julia's name flashed on my phone screen. Lucas Voyager. You're not still studying, are you? She always called me Lucas Voyager. At first, I hadn't thought much of it. Later, when I asked, she said it was because she was the only one who called me that. So, the name was exclusively hers. At that moment, a flower had begun to bloom silently in my heart. We all agreed to watch the fireworks together tonight for the New Year's countdown. Don't you dare bail on us. Seeing the message, an involuntary smile touched my lips. My fingers flew across the keyboard. Whoever flakes is a rotten egg. Wait for me. I'll come get you. Aye, Captain. I chuckled softly. Lucas. Maya stepped closer, her face near mine. Oh, sorry. I forgot you were still here. I offered Maya an apology. I thought she'd be furious, but she wasn't. The look in her eyes changed. The anger from before was gone, replaced by an indecipherable hesitation. I took a step back. Believe it or not, I didn't do it. If I say I didn't do something, I didn't do it. I have plans. Got to go. Lucas. This time, her voice was soft. So soft it was almost lost in the wind. Happy New Year's Eve, she said. I waved a dismissive hand over my shoulder and strode towards the community entrance. Our group, a noisy swarm of us, zip along on our bikes. All members of our winter break study crew. Julia was riding with me and we were at the back of the pack. At first, she just held onto the seat. When I was sure the others weren't looking, I took her hands and tucked them into the pockets of my puffer jacket. Warmer this way. She didn't pull away. My heart did a little flip. Hold on tight. I'm speeding up. Through the thick jacket, I felt Julia's arms wrap around my waist. You'll be tugged in on my sleeve, and I'll have my hands in my jeans. I started humming a popular tune, and soon everyone was singing along. The riverbank was packed with people waiting for the fireworks. After much searching, we finally found a relatively less crowded spot. Perfect timing, too. We barely settled in. Someone in front of us started the countdown. 10, 9, 8 we joined in, shouting at the top of our lungs, 3 to 1. Across the river, a spectacular firework exploded into the night sky, painting it with brilliant colors. I stood beside Julia, one arm loosely around her back, shielding her from the jostling crowd. Suddenly, I felt a warm breath brush against my ear, and a sweet, fresh scent filled my nostrils. Lucas Voyager, Happy New Year. May all your dreams come true. Julia was craning her neck, standing on her tiptoes. Her face was flushed red from the cold. Her eyes reflected the fireworks, making them sparkle with extraordinary brightness. I looked down at her and smiled, my heart melting. Happy New Year, Jules. And then the massive thundering booms of fireworks filled the air one after another. Our friends were shouting out their wishes. Ace the SATs. I hope we all get into our dream colleges. I cut my hand around my mouth and yelled, MIT, here I come. Boom, boom, boom. The fireworks continued, relentless. Thump, thump, thump. My heart raced in the biting cold wind. Our youth burned bright, blooming in all its glory. That winter break, cramming really paid off. On the first exams back, I unsurprisingly took first place again. All my friends from a study group saw their scores improve, too. At lunch in the cafeteria, we passed the honor roll bulletin board. Ryan stood on his tiptoes to get a look. Hey, Maya still didn't pull her grades up. Looks like she was too busy with her love life. You and your girl Julia are still solid, though. Number 1 and 2, Mr. Number 1, when are you going to share some of that academic magic with me again? Help me move up a few more spots. Get out of here. Haven't I shared enough? You've already jumped so many places. He thinks Mr. Top rank. Maya turned around. Ryan shut his mouth. She was even thinner than before, dressed in her puffer jacket. She looked like the next gust of wind could blow her away. Congratulations. Maya looked at me quietly, her voice flat without emotion. Thanks. The early spring air was still chilly, a breeze cutting between us. We were like two ships that had set sail on different courses heading for different harbors. Someone ran up from behind and tugged on my sleeve. Lucas Voyager, what are you guys doing? They're going to run out of your favorite chicken drumsticks in the cafeteria. Julia and a couple of other girls jogged past, Julia glancing back with a vibrant smile. Hearing that, I quickly grabbed Ryan and chased after them. We'd run a fair distance before I remembered I hadn't even said goodbye to Maya. I glanced back quickly. She was still standing there, a solitary, fragile figure, looking more alone than ever. Spring turned into summer, and graduation, along with the end of senior year madness, arrived right on schedule. After the last final exam, the gloomy, oppressive weather that had hung over us for days finally broke, releasing a downpour. Many students rushed out into the heavy rain, running, shouting, releasing 3 years of pent-up pressure. I stood under the eaves of the school building, holding out my hand, letting the rain slip through my fingers. Someone tapped me on the shoulder. So, what are your plans for the summer? Julia tilted her head up, a small smile playing on her lips, her dimples showing. I was about to answer when I saw Maya walking towards us. I said, getting my driver's license. You, Julia scrunched up her face. My parents are forcing me to go overseas and play tour guide for some visiting relatives. You make it sound so awful. Maybe I should take that tough job off your hands. Sure, you can. Maya came up from behind Julia, stepping right between us. Her tone was uncharacteristically gentle. Lucas, when are you leaving? I hadn't even had a chance to reply. Julia tilted her head slightly, peeking out from behind Maya. She frowned, but her eyes were smiling. Her voice was plaintive. Lucas Voyager, I didn't bring an umbrella. Can you walk me out? Maya spoke at almost the exact same time. My mom said to invite you and your parents over for dinner tonight. Let's go home together. So, that was it. I wonder why Maya was suddenly being so nice. Her mom's orders. I don't think I can walk home with you right now, but please tell your mom I'll be there tonight. With that, I stepped around her and met Julia's eyes. Let's go, Miss Julia. I'll walk you. Okay. The umbrella wasn't very big. I tried to tilt it more towards her, leaving half of my own shoulder exposed to the rain. Julia subtly moved closer to me. Our clothes brushed and the umbrella covered both of us. Lucas, Julia, we spoke at the same time and then we both chuckled. She said, you go first. My hand hanging by my side, lightly brushed against the fabric of her sleeve. The graduation party tomorrow. Are you going? Are you? Yeah. After this, who knows when we'll see some of these guys again. We'd all been in the trenches together, fighting for the same goals. Working hard side by side. We'd built strong bonds. Of course, I was going to the last chance to have everyone together like this. Then I'll go, too. Julia stuck her tongue out playfully. We quickly reached the school gate. Her parents were already waiting there. Come on, I'll give you a ride home. You can introduce Northwood's top student to my parents on the way. Maybe next time. My parents are here, too. I pointed to my own parents who were anxiously scanning the crowd for me on the other side. Well, see you tomorrow, then. See you tomorrow. Graduation party. The atmosphere was light and happy. With the weight of college applications and final exams lifted, everyone seemed physically and mentally lighter. Ryan and I, along with a few others, got there early. Julia texted me. Lucas Voyager, save me a seat. I might be a little late. I replied with an okay emoji. Ryan, sitting to my left, leaned over to peek at my phone. Texting Julia again, huh? You two are seriously adorable. Get lost, man. This is private. Ever heard of privacy? Privacy my butt. Even a blind man could see you and Julia are just one step away from making it official. Exactly. Someone else chimed in. But seriously, you two are perfect together. Total power couple. Equally matched in every way. Our classmates chattered on. I just smiled and didn't say anything. Continuing to text. What are you doing that's more important than food? You want to come pick you up? Already on my way. My mom dragged me to the mall and made me buy a ton of stuff. I'm so jealous. Crying emojis. More people started arriving. Someone tried to take the empty seat next to me. But before I could say anything, Ryan politely turned them away. He put on a serious face. Do you think just anyone can sit here? Huh? Do you think carefully now? Who is this seat reserved for? Oh, got it. Got it. I'll sit over here. Faced with all the teasing, I felt both happy and a little helpless. Happy because it was clear everyone could see Julia and I had something special. Helpless because if they kept teasing us like this, I was fine. I had thick skin. But I was worried Julia would feel awkward when she arrived. The food was almost all on the table when Julia finally walked in. The moment she entered the private room, everyone let out a collective gasp of admiration. I didn't bother hiding the awe in my own eyes. Her eyebrows were perfectly arched, her eyelashes slightly curled, framing a pair of pure, clear eyes that sparkled like stars. Her flawless skin had a soft pinkish glow. Her small lips were a delicate shade of pink. When she smiled faintly, dimples appeared on her cheeks. She was breathtaking. Wow, Julia, you look amazing tonight. Yeah, I can't put my finger on it. But you just look even more beautiful than usual. Our classmates showered her with compliments. Julia accepted them all gracefully. My mom took me shopping today, and the lady at the makeup counter at the mall helped me out with a little something. It's all makeup. You need a good canvas to start with. Exactly. No amount of makeup could make me look that good. A classmate said wistfully. Julia, you should skip the makeup from now on. You're turning poor Lucas into a drooling idiot. Lucas, man, here. Wipe your chin. Ryan said, hand me a napkin. Get lost. I slapped his hand away. After the party ended, our friends conveniently arranged for Julia to give me a ride home. Ryan and the guys had pied me with a bit too much to drink. The cool night air made my head spin. After she parked, Julia carefully helped me out of the car and toward my apartment building. One of her hands was around my waist, the other guiding my arm over her shoulder. As if she was trying to carry me. It was both comical and incredibly sweet. The shadows of the trees danced around us. The sound of crickets filled the night. Our silhouettes stretched and shrank again under the street lights. Actually, I'd sobered up quite a bit in the car. I can walk by myself. I tried to suppress a smile as I told her, don't be stubborn. Just listen to me. Her voice was gentle but firm, leaving no room for argument. My heart melted into a puddle. I wish the walk home was longer, much longer. Just as we were walking, a figure stepped out, blocking our path. I looked up and saw Maya, her face a cold, stern mask. Lucas, didn't your parents tell you not to drink? You've really gone downhill getting this drunk. Her sudden concern was baffling. She shot Julia a reproachful look as if to say Julia was a bad influence. You're Julia, right? Thanks for bringing Lucas home. I'll take it from here. I have a key to his place. Her words dripped with challenge. I saw Julia's eyes instantly fill with hurt and sadness. A pang shot through my chest. I tightened my arm around Julia and said quickly, firmly, Maya, our relationship is just neighbors. Remember, I deliberately emphasized just neighbors. Not missing the flicker of panic in her eyes. I continued, Julia brought me home. If anyone should be thanking her, it's me. You're in no position to do it for me. And as for my house key, your parents asked my parents for it so you could do homework at my place. You can get it back now. She stared at me in disbelief. Gradually, the shock turned into anger. Her gaze hardened as she glared at Julia. Lucas, you were never like this before. Is it because of her? What exactly is going on between you two? Since things were already out in the open, I might as well clear the air completely. Maya, I did like you before. That's true, but we both made our choices, didn't we? I hope you don't need to say anymore. I get it. I just hope you don't regret what you've done today. She cut me off sharply. Suddenly, Julia's soft hand slipped into mine. I looked down at her. She gave me a steady, reassuring look. I squeezed her hand back and said firmly, never. After that night, I never saw Maya Vance again. I heard that during senior year, Chris's actual girlfriend from college showed up to support him during finals week. Maya and Chris's relationship fizzled out after that. I also heard she didn't do too well on her college entrance exams. She ended up at a less competitive state university. Later, my family moved to a different neighborhood, and I never heard any news about her after that. The day my college acceptance letter arrived, Julia sent me a text, a photo of an acceptance letter. It looked exactly like mine. She had actually applied to the same university as me. No wonder she'd always been so secretive whenever I asked about her dream school. Another text followed. Lucas, let's be together. My heart skipped a beat, then soared with an overwhelming sense of happiness. I texted back, hold on. A guy is supposed to do this. Delete that. Let me ask properly. Then I typed, Julia Lane, will you be my girlfriend? Her reply came. Let's see how well you behave. Haha. I promise I'll be on my best behavior. In a vast, boundless sky of our future, a beautiful and bright tapestry was unfurling, silently waiting for us to explore it, to paint our own stories upon it. The road ahead was long, but we'd walk it together, hand in hand, into our future.